Welcome back from the break, and it's good to know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, and it is coming to you from the Unity Station NTA, Channel 5 Abuja. Now to education matters. It is said, according to UNESCO, that is the United Nations Educational, Scientific, and Cultural Organization, that Nigeria has about over 20 million out-of-school children. Wow, this is quite high. And this morning, I have an educationist with me here this morning to help suggest the way we can get out and possibly bring down the number of out-of-school children. Our topic this morning is reducing high number of out-of-school children. And I've been joined with Dr. Mohammed Bawagumi. He is an educationist. Let's welcome him. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you very much. Right. Thank you very much.
Okay. Wow, the number is high. About 20 million out-of-school children.
Yes.
How did we get here?
You know, if you look at the statistics from 2010, navigating to 2015 and 2018 and 2023. And in 2010, we have more than 10.2 million out-of-school children. By 2015, that number has increased to 13.5 million. Then in 2018, surprisingly, the number reduced to 10.2 million again. But by the recent reports from the UNESCO and also other World Bank data, we now realize that Nigeria has among the highest number of out-of-school children, followed by India and Iran. So it's worrisome. And we do believe that maybe every well-meaning Nigerian, this thing should stop here. And all effort must be done to make sure that these numbers are reduced. But unfortunately, so to say, over the last decades, we have seen out of these 18.2 million Nigerians who are out of school, 67% of these numbers are coming from the north, while 33% are coming from the south. And these numbers will continue to increase until the security situations with regards to the issues of banditry, now the new fronts of the local hours that have come out, and also the Boko Haram, is devastating the local communities. And because of this, they were completely displaced from their areas of inhabitants. And if and only if the federal might is being used to defeat these miscreants, to make sure that all these local inhabitants are meant to go back to their schools, to their homes, and make sure that the schools are also functioning. I'll give you an instance. In Zamfara State, we have 14 local governments. Out of 14 local governments, only 5 local governments are carrying out their educational perspective.
Wow.
Lovely. Well, because in areas of the eastern parts of the states, the Afe areas, if you look at the Shinkafi areas, all of these had been devastated by the hoodlums. And because of that, they were all displaced. So apart from only 5 local government areas where schools are opened, all other schools, all boarding schools in the places are closed. All boarding schools. And this has increased, has aggravated the increase. And with the evolving of these new local hours also in the areas of Kebbi and Sokoto State, it means more work has to be done. But the good news is, I have just listened to a good news interview. The Office of the National Security Advisor of the Mr. President have called upon all the security agencies, for the DSS, the military, the police. They have a high-level meetings, and they have bring out a policy or a kind of pathway which they can be able to defeat. And we have had several news. Most of the operations that was conducted within this week, a lot of success has been recorded.
Wow.
And we just continue to pray to them, to support them in whatever way we can, to make sure that they were able to achieve so that the number of the out of school children will reduce.
Will be reduced.
Yes.
That is a very good suggestion,
yes.
and we hope, and I pray with you that they will bring out more policies that will help bring down the number of out of school children. Now, as a major player in this industry, we want you to bring up some of your approaches that you think that will help bring it down, because you majored on the north, because that is where you are coming from, and that is where it is very high. Now, let us bring it down holistically, because when you look at your family, I look at my family, we have we don't need to go far. We don't need to go far. So as a major player in this industry, what do you think should be a holistic approach to bringing down the number of out-of-school children?
So, you see, if you look at what I've just said in the statistics, I gave you an interesting figure.
You did.
In 2018, the number drops from 13 million to 10 million.
And went up again.
And went up again. What makes this thing to increase is because of the insurgency. And these insurgencies are localized. They are all localized within the northern part of the country. So in the southeastern part of the country, you look at the issues of gender as being because more females goes to school compared to male. In the southeastern part of Nigeria. And so there's the need for us to make sure that there's an enlightenment program. There should be a supportive program involving the communities, the community leaders, and also the religious leaders, to make sure that they have tell these people to make sure that all children within the school age goes to school. And interestingly, the Federal Ministry of Education, I have seen their bulletin in 2021. They have drawn out a policy on the national policy on the gender education in Nigeria. And they have taken a step forward to make sure that a lot of collaborations with the relevant stakeholders, both in all the states of the Federation. And not just that, to involve the community leaders and to tell them the importance of bringing in their children to schools. And the Enugu state government recently, they have gone ahead, even ahead of the federal government, trying to create almost smart schools in Enugu.
And if other states can do the same.
Enugu skill is there. They are now making almost all their schools as smart schools.
Wow.
And we want, the FCT is keen also. And with this, we do believe, because with the inclusion of technology into the educational sector, to make sure that children, we arouse their attentiveness. And they need something new. They need to have something that they are not used to.
Now that you are talking about technology, let's just deal with what do you think should be the role of technology? Because at times the world has become a small place that you can train yourself even with your smartphones. What do you think should be the role of technology in helping drive down the number of out-of-school children? You see, it's multifaceted. In the sense that technology has come to stay. It improves our lives. Just academic qualifications does not guarantee. It's not sufficient to have a successful career. You are going to talk to us more on technology. Let's go on this break. When we come back, we'll continue. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. All right, we have been talking about strategies and approaches on how we can help reduce the high number of out-of-school children. Let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still be here to talk more. Welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Good Morning Abuja on NTA Channel 5. And before we went on that break, we were trying to talk about the role of technology in helping to bring down the number of out-of-school children. There's a popular psychologist. His name is Alvin Toffler. All right. He said the illiterate of the 21st century is not the person who doesn't know how to read and write. Wow. But it's somebody who cannot learn, relearn, and unlearn. Learn, relearn, and unlearn. That's a good one. Yes. So we are navigating towards a 21st century educational system that involves the use of technology at high ends. If you look at the AI, the artificial intelligence has come to stay. It's being used in various facets of our lives. So we have to make sure that there's the inclusion of technological aspect of the education in all the Nigerian institutions, both at the primary,
secondary, and also the tertiary institutions. So technology is something that we cannot go without it. There's no way. And most of the schools, especially the private schools, where it's my own primary circumstances, yes. You see, you embrace the use of a lot of smart digital boards.
Okay.
What we learn, what we understand is it makes the students to be more attentive. It arouses their curiosity. They want to be part and parcel of the lesson. And they listen to the teachers and the information the teachers are conveying to them, compared to the localized way of teaching. So technology is aiding progress in education, is arousing interest, and it's making people to be more interesting. So it makes the students not to derail, not to say, I'm going to school, but they will just go somewhere else.
But again, as you are explaining all of this, my mind went to our people in the local communities. How would they have access and enjoy this?
You see, it's a major challenge. You know, it's a major challenge. What I know, the UNICEF is having a program to make sure that in every state of the Federation, there are some pilot schools that will be established as a smart schools. And they are providing the needed gadgets. They are also making sure that some of these pilot schools, not only in the local government headquarters, there is also some localized areas where they provide solars to power those smart boards. So it's a very welcome development.
And now that you're talking about that, I want you to let it be all inclusive. The role of partnership, apart from what the UNESCO is doing to help bring down the number.
You know, collaboration is key.
It is.
To success. Without major collaborations with major stakeholders, both the federal level, the state level, and local governments, the community leaders, the international and non-governmental organizations like the UNESCOs, the UNICEFs, they are playing a key role, yes, in the development of education in Nigeria. And we see them as strategic partners. They are helping us to come up with maybe strategies, new informations, new strategies that can be able to arouse interest of the students so that they can stay and also we retain them in school. It's not just maybe to have access to education, but we also want to make sure the students are also retained in the education sector so that they can be able to continue and also get the best they can so that we can prepare them to face the challenges of the modern world as they navigate towards their future so that at least the nation will have children to be proud of. Okay.
It's good you are coming from a background of a private educationist, but from the world of private. Now there is this conflict between the public and private school owners. Who has the highest drift on, who is driving to bring down the high number of out-of-school children. What do you have to say about that?
You see, I will reframe it in this way. There's no conflict between the public sector, education sector, and also the private sectors.
All right, your view anyway.
Yes, we at the private sector, under the auspices of the National Association of Proprietors of Private Schools, we have more than 28,000 schools cut across the nation. And our effort is to complement the effort of both the state and the federal governments because there's a gap. It will interest you to know that almost federal government, in the Federation of Nigeria, we have more than 76,000 schools.
76,000.
Out of this school, both the lower primary to secondary, also the tertiary institutions. Out of these 28,000 comes from private sectors. In Lagos alone, 93% of the primary schools are owned by private schools. 93% of all the schools in Lagos, 76% in Rivers, 75% in Ogun, 46% in Zamfara, and also 53% in Nasarawa and Imo State.
And with these statistics, you're dishing out, we still have high number of out-of-school children?
Yes, because of conflict, because of economic factors, because a lot of maybe lack of a proper framework. That's why we are interfacing with the National Assembly leadership to establish an act to establish the proprietors, national proprietors of private schools, to make sure that we have a standing. We are always ahead. These numbers, if you look at out of people who have succeeded in their work, majority of them who go outside the country to read outside are from the private schools. More than 10,000 students in UK, more than 13,000 students in US, and more than 3,000 in Ukraine then, before the war, and also more than 2,900 in South Africa and also Ghana, and in Benin we have 2,000 students. In Germany we have more than 2,000 students. Majority of these students that goes outside to improve or to increase their knowledge and come back to contribute to nation building are coming from the private sectors. So if you look at the statistics, I told you we have 65% of all the secondary schools in Nigeria are from the private sectors.
Wow, you are there to compliment.
59% of junior secondary schools are from the private sectors. Wow. 47% for both primary and the polytechnics are also from the private sectors. 51% of our universities are also owned privately. So we're not conflicting. We are only here to complement the effort of both the federal government and also the state government in carrying out this duty.
Okay. It is interesting to know that, and it's awesome. Now let's come down to government policies that will help bring it down to, let's say, the barest minimum. What do you think should be done appropriately?
Yes, to bring the number of out-of-school children by the federal government, I think there's the needs for legislation. One, so that we have a legal framework where we can collaborate between the private sectors, because we have the leading numbers. So with these good legislations, we also want to see that the federal government also gives some kind of a soft loan to these privately owned institutions, because there's no private schools in the whole Nigeria that can stand on its own based on tuition fees. It will interest you. They're not making money. And there's no other schools in the whole of the country whereby you have students who are very brilliant students, but their parents cannot afford. And you cannot sack them.
You can't.
So because of that, you give them an automatic scholarship. So the private schools in Nigeria are also helping in bringing and nurturing students on the scholarship basis. Though the federal government is not doing enough, but we do believe with the current situation whereby the federal ministry, I see the current leadership by the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, they have through the Federal Ministry of Education, they have now bring out a policy including 15 skills subjects to be included in all from primary to secondary school, so that a student, by the time he finishes, you are
graduating with something
skills, entrepreneurial skills that will make him to be able to adapt to the challenging situation in Nigeria.
This is a very interesting topic for me. But our time is going. But quickly, your final word and your advice before I let you go.
Yes, we do appreciate the effort being made by the federal government in terms of the policy making, in terms of interfacing and collaborating with the international bodies. But we also want the federal government to see the privately owned schools owners as partners in progress through making some reliefs in terms of taxations. And we want to see through legislations whereby the schools are given tax-free haven, so that they can be able to stand on their feet, so that they can be able to help to nurture these children
and complement well.
Yes, complement well. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time with us this morning. Your approach, your strategy, your suggestion that you brought to the table this morning. We hope with time will now drive down the number of out-of-school children, and Nigeria will be better for it. Thank you so much,
Definitely. Thank you very
Dr.
much.
Mohammed Bawagumi.
Thank you.
For coming on our show this morning.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right.
Thank you very much.
Okay, the program is Good Morning Abuja. Now, let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still be here and we'll bring more for you. Stay with us, please. Good to know you have rejoined us again on the program Good Morning Abuja, coming to you from the Unity Station NTA Channel 5. And now to Road Matters. This morning, we will be talking about passenger safety, your role to help prevent road crashes. And this morning, we have been joined with CRC Sylvanus Ekpeyong, who is the Unit Head of Operations Central Business District of the Federal Road Safety Corps, to give us the normal Thursday education. You are welcome to the program.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, interesting topic we have before us this morning, talking about passenger safety. Before you take us through this education, give us the overview of what happened within the Central Business District under the week.
Under the week, a week under review,
yes.
The situation on our road has been very good. At least we're able to manage the traffic situations very well. So at least we don't have the congestion, normal congestion, the rush hours. We're able to control those areas that have been giving us headache. And also, to the glory of God, we recorded a zero road traffic crashes within the week.
Wow. We congratulate all of us and we say thank you for what you and your men are doing on our route. And now to our topic before us this morning, passenger safety. The role of individuals, the role of passengers in the vehicle to help prevent road crashes. Now, what role do passengers play in preventing road crashes?
See, when we talk about passengers' role, we are talking about their safety. What are they supposed to do when you are inside a vehicle? Because when you are inside a vehicle, the driver is the only person that have the control of the wheel. You are only seated there. But your safety is very important. It depends on what the driver does on the road. So you are to speak out, to encourage the driver not to overspeed the vehicle, not to carry overloaded vehicles. You as a passenger, you must have to fasten your seat belts. Even when, in Nigeria now, you said when you are sitting at the back, you doesn't need to fasten your seat belt.
But there are provisions
of seat belt there. So you need to fasten your seat belt even when you are sitting at the back seat of the vehicle. You also have to not to distract the driver. Most of our passengers distract drivers put driver in discussions. You see, discussing with drivers. Some of them will say, driver, increase the speed of the vehicle. You don't need to do that. As a passenger, your life is very important. The life of other road users is also important. So you don't need to encourage the driver to speed the vehicle. Let the driver go in the normal speed of the vehicle. And also, you don't need to distract the driver by telling the driver, increase the volume of the music in the vehicle, or bringing topics, discussions, that will make the driver not to concentrate or not to focus on the road. When you distract the driver, a minute can cause a crash. So we encourage passengers to minimize the discussion in the vehicle or not to distract the drivers. And also, when you see a driver using phone while driving, texting while driving, receiving call while driving, as a passenger, you encourage the driver, please don't do that. If you must have to pick this call, if you must have to send the text, park in a safe area and answer your call, then proceed on your journey. And as a passenger also, you doesn't need to patronize the vehicle that is already overloaded. When you see a vehicle that is overloaded, you don't need to enter the vehicle. Tell the driver, no, let me wait for another vehicle, another turn. Don't enter overloaded vehicle because your safety is also important.
Talking about distractions, I want to tell you that some drivers could be very stubborn. They will tell you that we've been driving for only God knows how. And your discussions with me has nothing to do with me on the wheel. How do you think we should heighten this awareness? Because it's what we see every day. You see some drivers, the way they put on the high the volume of their music or any discussions, it's alarming. If you try to talk to them, please bring it down. At times you'll be picking calls. You tell them, please bring it down. They say, no, please. All this rift. How do you think we should heighten the awareness? It
is very, very important that is why we come out with this topic on December month. Those of you just came out and said the topic of the December month is you have to speak out against dangerous driving. As a passenger, as occupants of the vehicle, you have every right to speak out because you didn't buy that vehicle free of charge. Even though you bought it free of charge, it's your life that is important. You need to speak out. When the driver is doing the wrong thing, you don't just keep quiet. You need to let the driver know. Please reduce the volume of your music. Most of them play this music so loud that people don't even know what they're doing inside the vehicle. You need to encourage them. Yes, they might not listen to you, but keep on speaking. There will be time they will listen to you.
Keep on speaking. It's a key and it's a very good strategy. Yes. You talked about overloading, that when you see some vehicle filled up, just advise yourself and don't step into. Some persons will tell you that, no, I have a time to meet. I just have to go with this last one now. I can't wait for the other one to get filled. Again, it boils down to awareness.
It is better for you to get to where you are going late than to be late.
All right.
When you are rushing to enter overloaded vehicle and you are giving the vehicle more load and the vehicle will not be able to stabilize, even the driver might not have the control of the vehicle, and this put your life at a risk. Come thinking that you are rushing to go to a place and the car involved in a crash and you could not make it up to where you are going. Is it better for you? It is better that you go to that place late than to be late. So it's better not to patronize any vehicle that is overloaded. Don't even patronize it. It's no good. One, you are risking your life. As a passenger, I am seeing a vehicle that's supposed to carry 4 passengers. It's already filled up with 4. And the driver is still waiting for another passenger. If nobody bought that vehicle, the vehicle must go. It must go. The driver will not sit there. But because we encourage the drivers to carry more than the normal passengers they are supposed to carry, that's why we ask passengers, speak out. Your safety is very important.
If you see any abnormality,
it is your role to speak out. Okay. And that is why FRSC also provided a emergency free number, 122. It's just too free. You can call, nobody will charge you. When you notice this in emergency, maybe you're on the road, you notice any emergency, call this number. They will quickly mobilize a team to go there and rescue the situation. And if you notice that the vehicle is carrying overload, you can also call this vehicle, this number. They will mobilize a nearby team, a nearby commands, to make sure that we discourage that vehicle to carry more than the required number is supposed to carry.
Okay, again, talking about distractions while driving, it is not good to engage your driver so that he will have the full concentration and control. Yes. Okay, now, the common questions that can come into minds of everyone is now, you are driving, I am the passenger, for 10, 20, 30 minutes, nobody is talking. Now, give us the tips to the effective communication between passengers and driver.
It is very, very important that you communicate with your drivers in a very moderate and understanding way. Okay. You can see somebody shouting on drivers. You don't need to shout on your driver while you are inside the vehicle. There's a way you communicate, a way you talk to somebody. Maybe you want to make call. The vehicle, maybe the driver was playing music. Please, driver, can you help me reduce the volume of your vehicle, of your music? I want to make call. A sensible person will also need to listen to you. And the call will not take you from the beginning of your journey to the end. Certainly, the driver will reduce it. And you must have to communicate with your driver. Don't just sit in the vehicle without communicating with your driver. When you see a driver doing the wrong thing, doing wrongful overtaking, as a passenger, you need to communicate. You need to speak out. Say, driver, no, don't overtake. This place is wrong for you to overtake. Okay. That is a communication. That is not a distraction. But you are cautioning your driver not to do dangerous overtaking. Okay. And by doing that, you are saving your life and the life of other road users.
Wow, interesting. Now, another question we'll quickly want to look at is, what do you think should be a safety checks for drivers before they embark on any journey, before they put their cars on the road?
In short, every vehicle that must be on the road must have to, there's a checklist for every vehicle. First of all, as a driver, what are you supposed to do in the morning? There's what we call vehicle drills, morning drills that you have to do in the vehicle. Is to check the normal thing. You check your water level in the vehicle. You check your oil level in your vehicle. You check your fan belt tension. Is it okay? You know, the vehicle that you carry, you are moved out and your fan belt caught where you might not be able to get help. Okay. You check the pressure of your tire. Okay. Are your tire okay? You go back to your boot, check your spare tire. Is it inflated? Is the air normal? Check when you check those things, you even come back to your vehicle. Before you start the vehicle, check. If your vehicle was parked, If a manual vehicle, make sure it's in neutral. If it's automatic, make sure it's in park before you put your key. And you just put your key and start your vehicle immediately. You on your ignition before you kickstart your vehicle. Okay. This is just a drill that you have to do to check whether these things are okay, if those things are okay. Because you see, most people don't even check the water level in your vehicle.
Water level.
It is when you enter hold up. When you enter, you see at times, you see vehicle parks on the road, maybe they little hold up. And you notice what happened. You see vehicle opening bonnet. What happened? Because of failure of driver doing this common thing in the morning. Okay. When you do those things in the morning, will save you problem in the afternoon.
In the afternoon or in the evening. Okay, so, having checked all of this and we are set to move, hope it will not lead to overspeeding. This is Ember month. People are running to come back to pick passenger, to go to make money fast. You are going to include that one in your advice and final words because I've been giving signs for us. You put all of this together, advise us on what to do to stay safe.
That's why I always tell people, as a passenger, you need to speak out in the vehicle. When you see a driver being fatigued, being tired in the vehicle, tell the driver, no, this vehicle cannot move any longer. Let's park. You need to rest.
What if they insist?
You need to rest. If you insist, please get to a nearby checkpoint. Stop that vehicle. Your life is important. If somebody is sleeping and driving, what will happen to you? What will happen to other occupants of the vehicle? You see, in this period of Ember month, people think that they want to make money they have not made from January till now. You want to make a trip from there to east. Go
and return the same person
and still want to go back.
Wow.
You cannot cheat nature.
You can't.
The sleep will come. You will be tired. You need to rest. The body needs to rest. So that's why we advise people, for every journey you make, for every how many kilometers you travel, you have to stop for at least 15 minutes.
And rest.
And rest. Walk around. Let the blood flow over your system. Again. Let your system normalize before you proceed on the journey. And for people traveling, please, we advise you, do not speed your vehicle at this moment. Go in the speed you can control. I normally call it common sense speed limit. Go with your speed you can control. Yes. You can know that if anything happens, you're able to maneuver and get safe before you get to your destination. As a passenger, also speak out when you see driver doing what is wrong in the vehicle, because your safety is matter. As a passenger, especially when you bought a commercial vehicle, try to look at the emergency exit routes in the vehicle. Because most of these buses have emergency route. In case of anything happens, you need to make sure you find those emergency exit routes to get yourself out of the vehicle. And also learn to use all this fire extinguisher. It's very, very important that even as a passenger, you need to know how to make use of fire extinguisher in case of any fire incidents. You can decide to help the passenger drivers also.
This is all inclusive. Thank you so much for the normal education and for refreshing our minds again to doing the right thing on the road always. And we do really appreciate your time with us this morning.
Thank you
so much.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, passenger safety. You have a role and you have a duty to play in ensuring that everyone is safe on the road, both the driver and the passenger. And we have been talking with CRC Silvana Zekpeyong, who is the Unit Head of Operations, Central Business District of the Federal Road Safety Corps. Now let's go on this quick break. When we come back, we'll still be here to bring more for you. Stay with us, please.